What started as an ordinary patrol of a police officer through the streets of a small town in Tennessee ended up becoming a viral video that would capture the hearts of hundreds of thousands of people. Lance Hoffmeister was a nice and helpful officer of the Murfreesboro Police Department in Tennessee and the protagonist of our story. A short story full of charm from which we are sure you'll be moved and get a big smile on your face, because what this policeman did for one of his citizens is priceless. Hoffmeister was born and raised in Murfreesboro, the only home he's ever known and the place where not only his entire family was, but also where he fell in love, married, and where his two beautiful children, twins Michael and Sydney, were now 9 years old. There had never been any other police officers in his family, so his instinct to protect himself and his determination to become a law enforcement officer was not something he could have inherited. In fact, his parents had been the owners of a small bakery located in the center of the city where they made delicious artisanal bread. However, although at the beginning while studying, Lance started helping his parents in the family business and enjoyed kneading bread with his mother, he never intended to dedicate himself to it and was determined to enlist in the police academy, which made as soon as he finished his studies and was old enough to begin his training as a police officer. His determination, his camaraderie, and above all his kindness made him an excellent policeman that everyone could count on and deeply appreciate. A fondness that Lance always kept very much in mind while working and that drove him to improve every day and make his city a safer place. Which brings us to the present day where Lance Hoffmeister, as he'd been doing for more than 15 years, was on duty when he noticed an elderly woman walking alone on the shoulder of a highway with a walker. Every morning the policeman made his rounds on the outskirts of the city, but he'd never before encountered such an unusual situation. My God, how's it possible this woman's walking on the shoulder alone? I have to stop her and offer my help before something unfortunate happens, the policeman thought to himself when he saw her walking with difficulty on the shoulder. Lance was sure the elderly woman was in her 80s and that she was using all her strength to pull the walker and keep moving across the little space between the shoulder and the road. The officer couldn't believe what he was seeing, so he didn't hesitate to follow her very closely and park his vehicle a few meters away from her so he could help her and ask her how she was doing. "Ma'am, please stop. Don't keep walking here, it's dangerous," Lance said to the old woman, very alarmed, waving his arms vigorously and gesturing to her to stop. The woman stopped dead in her tracks and looked at the officer in confusion. She didn't understand why he was stopping her, and with a kind tone, she asked him if she'd committed any crime walking on the side of the road. "Excuse me, officer, have I done something wrong? I had no idea we couldn't walk on the shoulder, but I have no other means of transportation to get to my destination," said the old woman with a disgruntled gesture while clinging tightly to the walker so as not to fall. Realizing how confused she was, Lance hurried over to the old woman and explained why he'd stopped her. "You've done nothing wrong, ma'am. I stopped you because I'm concerned to see you walking around here by yourself. At your age and with mobility issues, you shouldn't be walking around here. Are you okay? Are you lost? My name's Lance and I'm a police officer. If you want, I can take you where you need to go or call your family to let them know where you are. Whatever you decide," Lance explained to the old woman in a friendly way, speaking a little louder than usual to make sure she heard him well and understood everything he was saying. But the old woman had no hearing problem, much less was she lost. The answer the woman gave the policeman left him very surprised and made him realize that he had prejudged her prematurely. The 84-year-old was not lost but had a destination in mind, a destination she wanted to get to as soon as possible and for which she was willing to walk several miles with her walker along the side of the road, the hairdresser's. So Hoffmeister helped her get there and in the process created a sweet moment seen by many. Also, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. The elderly lady's name was Elizabeth Good, a beautiful, educated 84-year-old woman who was on her way to an appointment with her hairdresser at the time. The lady explained to Lance that she'd taken a bus from Nashville and had mistakenly gotten off at a stop her 2.5 miles from the salon. "I still feel I can do a lot of things without help, but sometimes I get lost, I accept that. It's been a while since I've been to the hairdresser's by bus and I missed the wrong stop, so I'm here. I only have a few minutes left to get to my appointment at the salon, so I decided to walk along the side of the road by myself. Although I think I'll be late anyway. I don't walk too fast as you can see," admitted the old lady, pointed to her walker. It was then that Lance quickly offered to help her and give her a ride to the salon in a police car. "I can give you a lift if you like. I'll be happy to get you there, Mrs. Good. Tell me where I need to take you and I'll do so," Hoffmeister told her kindly, offering her his arm to hold on to and pointing to his police car that was parked a few feet away from them. "Oh, I wouldn't want to be a bother, really. I can get there on my own. It'll cost me a bit, I admit, but I don't want to slow down your work. A policeman has more important things to do than take a clueless old lady to comb her hair," replied the old woman, trying to refuse the policeman's offer politely. However, Lance was unwilling to leave that woman there alone, so he again insisted on giving her a ride in his car. Helping you is exactly what a good cop should do. The reality is that we police officers are in the business of solving small problems on a daily basis. Minor issues that no one knows about, but to those who are in trouble are very important. If you're walking along the side of a road with your walker alone and unaided, it means that getting to your hair appointment is important to you, so it must be important to me. Let me help you, please. I wouldn't forgive myself if anything happened to you. It's my duty to look after you, the policeman insisted. This time, Good couldn't refuse and accepted Hoffmeister's offer, who quickly helped her into his vehicle. Although the ride to the salon was a short one, the agent was very happy to have been able to help the old woman reach her destination unharmed. In fact, from the first moment he saw her walking along the side of the road, Lance felt that the woman reminded him a lot of his grandmother. So before Mrs. Good got out of the car, the policeman wanted to share his feelings with her, explaining that helping her had been very meaningful because it brought back memories of his grandmother whom he'd recently lost. I lost my grandmother a couple months ago, and listening to you talk gave me that feeling again of heartfelt nostalgia. It was like I was listening to her talk, you know? Not only do you look alike physically, but also in the way you're facing this last phase of your lives. It was a real pleasure to meet you and to have been able to serve you, Elizabeth, Lance told her with great emotion. The old woman was very moved by the sudden sincerity of the police officer whom she'd only known for a few minutes, and was very grateful for his help and his willingness to share such an intimate memory with her.
Oh wow, I'm flattered. You remind me of one person too a lot, you know, my oldest son Jonas. He also died 3 years ago from cancer. He'd be almost 41 now, and since he's been gone, I feel very sad. You were as nice as him and almost as handsome, you know? My son also insisted on helping me in everything, but I've always been very stubborn and proud and wouldn't let him. Now I regret not spending more time by his side while I had the chance. You've made me feel very close to him. Thank you very much for everything, Agent Lance. You're a great man and an excellent policeman. The city's lucky to have you, confessed the old woman with a certain tone of nostalgia herself. My duty, Mrs. Good. I'm sorry for the loss of your son, but if it's any consolation, you can count on my help and my company whenever you want. Is that all right? You know where to find me. I'm here to serve you, Lance said, smiling at her. When the two arrived at the salon, unbeknownst to Lance, they were recorded by someone in the parking lot who caught them walking in and, touched by the agent's kindness and caring for the elderly woman, wanted to share the clip on his TikTok account. In the video, the police officer could be seen gently holding the elderly woman as he helped her out of the police car, and then as he helped her in by holding the door of the hair salon open. The post was titled Guardian Angel. The person who recorded them wanted to express his gratitude to the police officer and share his thoughts regarding how the police force takes care of its citizens on a daily basis without anyone thanking them. This man is a true guardian angel. Surely he would have had plenty of others to do, or he could have simply walked by, but he didn't. This policeman spent his time on duty to escort this elderly woman to her hair salon and make sure she was unharmed. I'm so grateful to know that there are law enforcement officers as generous as this man. I thank God for that, he wrote in the post. As expected, the post went viral in a matter of hours, with more than 500,000 views and hundreds of comments congratulating the agent for his big heart. Thanks to Agent Hoffmeister, Elizabeth was able to reach her destination safely, and more importantly, thanks to the great heart of Agent Lance, thousands of people once again felt grateful for the work that the authorities do in the cities and applauded in unison the well-done work of a police officer, something very difficult to achieve nowadays. Did you like this touching and surprising story? If so, we invite you to leave us a comment expressing your opinion. If you want to continue enjoying inspiring stories like this one, subscribe to our channel or check out the other videos shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your cooperation.